I hope you feel a sense of accomplishment and a sense of relief after your first speech. It's always the hardest, and I'm so glad that your mentor, who's perfect at this, got you in the speaking role right away so you could shake off the emotion, right? You could get it done, get it out of your head, and move forward. And that's always the perfect way to do it, because then it's not so heavy on your shoulders. So congratulations on your first speech. There's some things I'd like to highlight that I really liked about it. You came across as very comfortable with what you were saying. You had good structure. You told us what you were going to talk about. You told us the 3 items, and then you wrapped it up. Perfect structure for a speech. And amazingly, I did not hear any audible pauses. So when we're nervous, especially, or if we're thinking through things, we tend to use audible pauses, and I did not hear any. So that's a really fabulous start to your speaking career. I could learn some lessons from you, by the way, because I don't have that. I don't have that skill. So good job on all of that. And the reason that all those work, the reason that those are guidelines for speeches, etc., is because it makes your speech easy to follow. So you talked about that you wanted to be a lawyer in 6th grade, which is really an endearing story. And another example, like what Nick talked about, is you never know when something's going to impact you. So that was really great there. Then you talked about deciding on international law and then how you got there. So it was a nice flow, and you followed exactly what you were going to say. So what I'm going to talk to you about next are things to think about for your next step. So you have the foundation. Again, you don't look like a first-time speaker. So here's some things to think about your next speech. If you heard Jeremy, Anita, and Nick, when they all spoke, they had some sort of lead-in into their speech. So as a icebreaker in the first time, those are things that you don't have to worry about. And now as you move forward to your next speech, think about something that would grab people's attention when you speak. Here's an example of something that might work. Your speech started off with, today I'm going to tell you about 1, 2, 3. You told us those 3 things. Maybe before that, you could say, let me tell you how I ended up in Beijing. It's a great story. And then you can go into what you were doing. And that grabs our attention, because I don't know how many people have been to Beijing, but I haven't. So that immediately gives me a visual image of what you're going to talk about and how you got there. It grabs our attention. So think about that with your next speech. And this is part of Toastmasters is, you got to get it down first, and then you can start adding on. And this is a thing to add on in the introduction, is something you can work on next. So I really enjoyed learning about you, and I can't wait to hear more. You've laid a lot of groundwork for some future speeches. So good job.